Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to make something together that we haven't done before. So it's something that we can actually drink because it's winter and it's getting cold, and I love winter spices. I've decided to share with you a few recipes of winter drinks that we can make in this time of year that will keep us warm and that have the winter spices that we all love, because I'm sure you guys love them because you're watching this video. So don't tell me you don't. I know you. I know. Okay, so let's get into kitchen.
Okay, so the first recipe is coffee alla Ada, or you can call it Christmas coffee. It's basically what Costa Coffee or Starbucks call their winter or gingerbread coffee. Is just only using natural ingredients. So let's get started. On a pot, I put 2 cups of water, so for 2 coffees, and then you're going to put 2 sticks of cinnamon, about 10 cloves, and half of a nutmeg. You can also use the grinded version of these spices if you don't have the whole ones. So it's about 3 teaspoons of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of clove, and a whole teaspoon of nutmeg. So what you're going to do is you're going to let your water boil, and you're going to let it boil for a few minutes. I would say 2 or 3 minutes or so. And that's because we want all these lovely aromas from the spices to infuse into the water. So we want them nicely infused into the water. And then we're going to stop the water from boiling. So we're going to take it off the stove, just stop the fire, and we're going to add our coffee. And here I added 4 teaspoons of coffee, but you can add as many or as less as you want. This is up to you. It depends how strongly or how weakly you like your coffee. So because we added grounded coffee, and that's going to leave a bit of a thingy of coffee, what you can do if you butter that, you can just take it to a sieve before you put it into your cup, like I'm doing here. If you have a finer sieve, that will be better, because I still have a bit of coffee left in my cup, but I don't mind it. So after we put the coffee in the cup, you will use two grounded, so the zest of orange, and you will just squeeze it nicely into your mug. And this is to get all the essential oils from the orange into our coffee, and that will infuse nicely. I'm also adding sugar and a bit of foamy milk, but that's up to you. They're both optional. If you like to do that, go ahead and do that. And I'm also sprinkling a bit of extra cinnamon on top. Our second recipe is apple spiced tea, which is really easy to make. So again, on the stove, on a pot, we're going to put 2 cups of apple juice, or you can use apple compote if you prefer. We're going to put again 2 sticks of cinnamon, about 12 cloves, and you're going to put 5 cardamom pods. You have to bash them in a bit before, just to open the cardamom, so you can get the spices nice and proper in your tea. I've also added sugar, but the sugar is optional. So if you prefer less sweet, or if your apple juice is already sweet, then skip the sugar. So what you're going to do is you're going to let this boil for a couple of minutes, so all those spices get nicely and infused into the apple juice or apple compote, and then you're just going to serve. Our third recipe is a rum tea that I love. I've been drinking it since I was a little child, and just reminds me of those nice wintry flavors. So again, on a stove, on a pot, we're going to put 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'm using demerara sugar here, and we're just going to let that sugar melt. We're not going to touch it, we're not going to stir it with anything, we're just going to let it do its thing and melt nicely. If you really insist of stirring it in a way, just pick up the pot like I'm doing here and just stir it gently from side to side. And I'm doing this here just because I want the sugar to be nicely distributed towards the pot. I just want it to be all around my pot, but you don't really need to do that, that's optional. So just let the sugar, don't need to put anything else but sugar. And when the sugar is nice and melted, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon powder this time, and we're going to do the same move and just stir the thingy again. And then we're going to add 40 milliliters of rum, but you can also use rum extract, which I used to use when I was a child, because for children. And then you put 400 milliliters of water, just plain old tap water, and you let all of this get simmery. We also going to add 3 bits of lemon zest and 1 bit of orange zest. And excuse my very good term of bit, I don't have any other term, it's very professional term, that's how we call them, is bits of lemon and orange zests. We're going to stir it a bit just for that sugar to melt, let it boil, and then serve it in a nice Christmassy cup. And what I'm doing here, I'm also adding another bit of lemon zest. Our next recipe is Christmas hot chocolate, so it's going to be a nicely spiced and flavored hot chocolate. So again, on a pot on the stove, we're going to put 400 milliliters of milk. I'm using oats milk here. You can use cow milk, you can use soya milk, you can use almond milk, any type of milk you want. Just don't use a flavored milk. We're going to put half of a nutmeg in here and about 10 cloves also. And we're also going to add 4 star anise. What we're going to do is we're going to let this get into that point where it's a bit simmery, and we're going to keep the eye on it because it's going to boil over really fast. When it gets a bit simmery, we're going to add chocolate, so dark chocolate, and about 30 grams of dark chocolate, and just stir it. I also forgot to mention I added some zest of orange here, and I'm also adding just a pinch of cayenne pepper. This will give a nice punch and a bit more heat to our hot chocolate, but it's optional. If you don't like heat, then just skip the cayenne pepper. And with a hand blender, I'm using this nicely sweet one from IKEA. I'm adding another whole tablespoon of cocoa powder, and then with this blender I'm just mixing everything together. And I'm using the blender because I want to make sure that everything is nice and mixed together. So we're just going to do that and be careful with the heat, and that's all ready to be served and enjoyed. And the last recipe is mulled wine. This is a family favorite. We always have it for Christmas, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So on the stove, on a pot, I put 2 cups of red wine. Then I added 4 teaspoons of demerara sugar and a stick of cinnamon. It's a big stick of cinnamon. If you have smaller sticks of cinnamon, I would suggest for you to add 2. And then I added 10 cloves and 2 star anise. You're also going to add the professional term bits of orange zest, and I added 4 here. And you're just going to let all these get into a nice simmery stage, stir it so the sugar melts, and once it gets nice and simmery, then you can serve.
Okay guys, that was all. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I do hope that you will make one of the beverages. If you will, let me know which one. Leave me a comment and tell me which one. Not too many of the mulled wines. If you like this video and you found it useful or nice or whatever, something, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from me, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and you might also see more videos here. And please don't forget to love yourself and love life, everything that it has to offer. Bye bye.